and wait a few minutes. See if anyone wants to pop in. Oh, fun. Options. Lots of options. There's a hair on my lip. I must have a hairy lip. All right. Well, that I finally got this back, I wasn't able to contact or get back to where I was being messed with, of course. It's to be expected. Doesn't surprise me in the least. Let's see if I can stay. Hello. Stay. Hey, buddy, how's it going? Let's see if they let me get through chapter 2. Chapter 1 was a chore. It was Nuck and Futz. They kept shutting me down. So I'm looking for beads big enough to go on this string I have. Just kind of taking my time, seeing if anybody else is going to come in. Ooh. Orange. I wonder if that'll fit through there. Ooh, looks pretty small. It'll fit through here. So, hi. Well, then, good. Then you can listen to me read and fall asleep. It's just one chapter. I wanted to do one chapter a day, but I was not able to get back to where I was. They were messing with me. I was being shut down and, you know, all that fun stuff. But that's the price you got to pay if you want to share information. And so, chapter 2, titled The Georgia Guidestones. This is out of the book Common Sense Renewed, written by R.C. Christian, which is a knockoff name. It is a fake name, a faux name, and that is the same person that erected the Georgia Guidestones. 2. The Georgia Guidestones. It is probable that humanity possesses even now the knowledge needed to establish limited but effective world government. That knowledge must be propagated in the consciousness of all mankind. The hearts of our human family must be touched and warmed to welcome a global rule by reason. The group consciousness of our race is blind and perverse and is easily distracted by trivia when it should be focused on fundamentals. We are in a critical era. Population pressures are creating political and economic crises throughout the world. These make more difficult in the building of a rational world society. A first step will be to convince a doubting world that such a society is possible. Let us keep in view enduring appeals to the collective reason of humanity. Let us draw attention to basic problems. Am I getting shut down? No, good. Let us establish proper priorities. We must order our home here on this planet before we reach for the stars. Human reason is the most powerful agency on earth. We must make humanity aware that compassionate, enlightened reason can control our destiny within the limits inherent in our nature. It is difficult to send wisdom in closed minds. Cultural inertias are not easily overcome. Unfolding world events and the sad record of our race dramatize the shortcomings of traditional agencies in governing human affairs. Increasing crises may make mankind willing to accept a system of limited world that will stress the responsibility of nations to regulate their internal affairs and assist them in the peaceful resolution of international frictions. With such a system, we could eliminate war and provide every person an opportunity to seek a life of purpose and fulfillment. There are alternatives to Armageddon. They are attainable, but they will not happen without coordinated efforts by millions of dedicated people in all nations. I am the originator of the Georgia Guidestones and the sole author of its inscriptions. I have had the assistance of a number of other American citizens in bringing the bringing the monument into being. We have no mysterious purpose or ulterior motives. We seek common sense pathways to a peaceful world, without bias for particular creeds or philosophies. I lost myself. There we go. Yet our message is in some areas controversial. I have chosen to remain anonymous in order to avoid debate and contention. Our guides must stand on their merits. Stonehenge and other vestiges sorry, of ancient thought arouse our curiosity but carry no message for human guidance. You're wrong, sir. I think you're very wrong. The guidance stones have been erected to convey certain ideas across time to others. We hope that these silent stones, I don't think it was very silent when they were blowing them up, and their inscriptions will merit a degree of approval and acceptance down the centuries, and by their silent persistence, where'd I go? Small, hasten in small ways the dawning of an age of reason. Hmm. So it seems, doesn't it? Two interested citizens of Alberton, Georgia, have been instrumental in bringing this project to completion. They are not sponsors, but have given invaluable assistance. They have served without compensation through motives of public service, even though they may not necessarily agree with the author in all his beliefs. Mr. Wyatt Martin, who has an interest in Georgia's history, served as the project's fiscal agent. He assisted in seeing a site for monument that would provide public access while remaining within budgetary limits. He enlisted community support for a small public park as a site for the monument. Pretty sure that's not true either, because as far as I know, it was on a private property, a farmer's property. Mr. Joe Fenley, president of Mayor Albertson, quarried the massive stones engraved on them our message and erected them on the site about 8 miles north of Alberton. The monument has been named the Georgia Guidestones. It consists of 4 large upright blocks of granite, each 2 meters wide and 5 meters high. They are arranged to mark the limiting positions of the rising and setting sun in summer and in winter. They surround a central stone which is oriented north to south. A channel through this stone is aligned with the celestial pole. On its south face is a sundial marking noontime through the year on a closed curve figure which reflects the equation of time, correcting the variations between solar time and time as recorded with uniform human hours. Uniform. The capstone, inscribed with an appeal to reason in 4 archaic languages, the monument is intended to combine certain attributes of the Rosetta Stone and many of the standing stones which are to be observed throughout Europe as remnants of the past human societies. We believe each human being has a purpose and a significant place in the divine plan of the universe. The celestial alignments of the stones symbolize our need to be in harmony with eternal principles manifest in our natures and in universe around us. The two large faces on each four central stones are inscribed with 10 precepts or guides, the 8 faces carrying the same text in a different language. The English version has fewer than 100 words. The languages were selected for their historical significance and because of their use by people now living. It would not have been possible for us to represent each of the 3,000 languages known to exist in the human family today. 3,000 languages. Shoo. It is hoped that as time passes, other stones can be erected in outer circles to mark the migration of the moon and the possible other celestial events. The ones that I see and record. These stones would carry out our thoughts in additional languages. Perhaps the stones will be copied in other lands by those who share our hope for a peaceful world based upon shared ethical values and a common respect for human reason. The guide stones are not intended to have sectarian appeal. They are a reminder of the challenges that face present and future generations of humanity. They are intended to encourage efforts to meet those challenges rationally, without favoring particular religions or political systems. We believe our thoughts are rational proposals for dealing with the problems that confront us. They are intended to stimulate discussion and logical compassionate action. Humans are special creatures. We are shepherds for all earthly life. We are players in the eternal struggle between good and evil, the forces which build and those which destroy. We must strive to optimize our existence, both for ourselves and for those who will follow. We must accept the guiding role which we can infer from our observations of the human situation in the complete mantle of life on earth and in the universe of struggle, conflict, and endless change. Perhaps these phenomena reflect eternal turmoils in the very soul of God. We appear to be the major agency through which good and evil qualities of the spirit become active in our world. Within us, there are elements of love, mercy, and compassion. There are also hate, cruelty, and cold indifference. We appear to be the only agents capable of consciously working to improve this imperfect world. It is not even it is not enough for us to simply drift with the current. The rational world of tomorrow lies ever upstream. The most pressing world environmental problem is the need to control human numbers. In recent centuries, technology and abundant fuels have multiplied humanity far beyond. In recent centuries, technology and abundant fuels what, dude? Have multiplied humanity far beyond what is prudent or long sustainable. We can foresee the impending exhaustion of certain energy sources and the depletion of many vital raw minerals. To control our reproduction is crucial. This will require major changes in our attitudes and customs. Unfortunately, the inertia of human habits can be extreme. This is especially true when those for whom custom is a dominant force are uninformed of the need for change. Nearly every nation is overpopulated in terms of a perpetual balance with nature. That is true. We are like a fleet of overcrowded lifeboats confronted with an approaching tempest. In the United States, we are seriously overtaxing our resources, but we should really let everybody else in. to maintain our current population in the existing state of prosperity. We are destroying our farmland and have grown dangerously dependent upon external sources for oil, metals, and other non-renewable resources. Nations such as Japan, Holland, and Haiti are even more seriously overpopulated and therefore in greater jeopardy. Reproduction is no longer exclusively a personal matter. Society must have a voice and some power of direction in regulating this vital function. I regulated mine. I took that shit out. Oh, sorry. Bad. The desires of human couples are very important, but they must not neglect a consideration of society at large. The general welfare of this and future generations must be given increasing consideration as we develop plans for rational guidance of our procreation. No person should be brought into the world unwanted and unneeded. No child should be conceived through carelessness. If each life is to have value, every conception must be part of an ordered plan of two parents who are aware of their responsibilities to that child and to society. Yeah. It is vitally important that each national government have a considered population policy. The need is urgent and should take precedence over other problems, even those relating in national defense. Population control is a global problem. The action of one nation have far-reaching effects on others. Overcrowding human beings in conditions of squalor and ignorance is dehumanizing. It is an evil which must not be tolerated. Each nation must consider the present and future availability of all resources required for its long continuing survival. With proper allowances for the interchange of commodities that are overabundant in some areas and scarce in others, rational estimates must be made of the optimum population which can be sustained by those resources on a perpetual timescale. Each nation must make this determination for its own people. It may give assistance to its neighbors as it chooses, and its assistance is required or is requested, and as its assistance is requested. But in the final analysis, each nation must determine its own population goals and must formulate plans that will achieve them. No nation, having regulated its own population, should be expected to burden its citizens with the unwanted surplus of improvident neighbors. Nations will op- Nations will optimum populations can nations with optimum populations can provide comfort and education for their own citizens and can give assistance to others. They can be good world citizens. Nations which are overcrowded and poverty stricken are problems for the entire world community. There are still significant reserves of fossil fuel and mineral resources, sufficient perhaps for a century of adjustment. But time is running out. Immediate action is required to avert disaster. A few generations of single-child families will make possible dramatic improvements of living standards even in the most impoverished countries. Can't read. In all nations, a major determinant of the living conditions will be the ratio of available resources to the number of citizens who must share them. Irresponsible childbearing must be discouraged by legal and social pressures. Couples who cannot provide a decent home and support for a child should not produce children to be a burden for their neighbors. Bringing unneeded children into an overcrowded lifeboat is evil. It is unjust to those children. It is harmful for the other occupants and for all living things. Society should not encourage or subsidize such behavior. Knowledge and techniques for regulating human reproduction are now in existence. Moral and political leaders throughout the world have a grave responsibility to make this knowledge. Oop, too far, Maynard. Where am I? Where'd I go? And where'd it go? Here's knowledge and techniques regulating human blah blah blah. Moral and political leaders through the world have great responsibility to make this knowledge and these techniques generally available. This could be done with a fraction of the funds now devoted to military purposes. In the long run, such action could do more than anything else to reduce the tensions which lead to war. Of the many means already available for controlling human, that's a new word for me, fecundity, Fecundity. Some are acceptable to most cultural groups, others are not. Better, safer, and more easily mass applied techniques are urgently needed. That doesn't sound good. Especially in underdeveloped nations which are experiencing major reductions in death rates. Through basic medical and sanitation practices. Much controversy now rages over the acceptability of abortion as a last resort for eliminating unwanted pregnancies. Heat engendered by these discussions may subside somewhat as we better understand the nature of life and discuss further the philosophical question of ensoulment or the or the acquisition of human nature by fertilized ovum. Who writes like this? We know that the human zygote, it says Zygote, perpetuates a flame of life which began on Earth more than 2 billion years ago, a flame which has been transmitted from generation to generation in a continuous unfolding of the potentials for variety which were present in the first living cells. We cannot point out the precise moment, my bad, in that ongoing succession of living things when life was transformed for something definitively less than human into a new form representing a higher order of life, awareness, and intelligence. Much evidence suggests that we are still very close to the anthropoid apes. Get the fuck out of here. Not only in our general body structure, but physiology, but also in the very precise patterns of the genetic coding within our chromosomes. We are GMOs. I'm tripping on this. This has been estimated that several billion letters of our genetic alphabet differ in fewer than 2% of their sequences from those of a gorilla. I don't know if I can read the rest of this, y'all, I suppose. We do know that the fertilized human egg is totipotent, capable of developing into a complete individual or even into several identical individuals, but it has also been learned that all living cells in an individual human being, even skin or white blood cells, have within them identical potentials. Each is, in theory, at least capable of reproducing the individual from which they derive. Many plants and animals multiply asexually, reproducing themselves from body cells that are not a part of the reproductive organ. Fruit trees and many plants have been cloned in this manner for centuries, each generation duplicating the genetic nature of the original twig or bud from which the entire this is a 420 friendly stream. I just said the word bud. I'm like, All right. In recent years, similar cloning has been done with animals, including some vertebrates. The theory in human being the theory a human being could be reproduced in like fashion. Okay, if you haven't seen the movie Aeon Flux, please watch it. It's actually free on YouTube right now, and it's called AEON Flux, Flux, two words. I highly recommend it. And then come back and leave a comment in the chat if you liked it and what you thought. A human body sheds millions of cells from its internal and external surfaces every day. Gross. Each of those cells appears capable of reproducing the complete body from which it falls. Shut the fuck up. Dude, that makes me want to go like obsessive compulsive on cleaning and stuff and like, oh, what? You can clone me off one cell? Get the flock out of here. Some dedicated and sincere opponents of abortion believe it is murder to destroy an early human embryo, even at the single cell stage of development. How these individuals will regard the implications of cloning human beings from skin cells is yet to be learned. In the light of conventional wisdom and traditional morality, abortion must be considered an evil. But there can be even greater evils. Consider a pregnancy resulting from rape or incest, especially in a young girl's. Okay, this is all opinion. Shiznit right over ya. Pungent, blah. Okay. Matter to the invasions, blah, blah, blah. This is just about like, shit sucked, life happened, you endured some trauma, now you're with baby, so you should be able to get rid of it. Opinion type shit. So I'm going to skip that paragraph if you don't mind. Because everybody thinks differently, and so it is what it is. Sometimes we must choose at least the least evil within the array of evils. Certain abortions may be lesser evils than available alternatives, and thus be morally defensible. Hopefully, the development of absolutely effective methods for avoiding unwanted pregnancies will make these questions irrelevant. Our reproduction will become fully controllable through humane and rational means. Failure to utilize those means may ultimately be the greater evil of all. Kind of like when they said, you're hurting other people if you don't get the Jabberwocky. Do I really want to keep reading this book? In these delicate areas of moral judgment, humanity must rely on the collective conscience of our race. No single individual or group should impose its position on others until a consensus has been developed from the best informed and most compassionate spokesmen from all groups. You mean like Brandon? Each bird in a migrating flock. I don't even think I can endure anymore. It's a bunch of motherfucking gibberish. So what you're trying to say is depopulate, be moral, stop war. I agree with those, but your opinion and everything really just is fucking this all up. A diverse and prosperous world population in perpetual balance with global resources will be the cornerstone for a rational world order. World order. People of good will in all nations must work to establish that balance. We must have confidence and the informed judgment of humanity. The problems of population control can be solved before mass starvation or conflict destroys the earth. You think? You think? You think? You wrote this in the 80s. Human reason can meet the challenges thrust upon it in future ages. Let us and those who come after us apply that force in all areas of our lives. A world language need not eliminate national languages. Every spoken language is useful, for it helps us to segregate its unique segment of humanity from the general mass, permitting. How much longer is this chapter? Let these guide stones to an age of Let these be guidestones to an age of reason. By the way, I don't know if we hired, but I know that there was a word misspelled on the Georgia Guidestone. So, genius. 1. Maintain humanity under 500 million around the world. The globe. 500 million. In perpetual balance with nature. Guide production wisely, improving fitness and diversity. 3. Unite humanity with a living new language. 4. Rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. 5. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. 6. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. 7. Avoid avoid petty laws and useless officials. No more cops. They're going. Number 8. Balance personal rights with social duties. 9. Prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. Number 9 sounds cool. 10. Be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. That is like the weirdest shit ever. Are you okay? My cat's having an asthma attack. Is that the end? Yay. I don't know if I'll be back for 3. 2 was horribly, agonizing. Okay. I'm in Wisconsin. I don't think he's behind the scenes. I don't know what no. But I'm not political either. It's all just a puppet show. It's all BS. There's not going to be another president, so. Yeah. Hi, how are you? I found ginormous hairpins at the bins today, and I couldn't resist. They're like bobby pins that are this big. I have them all in my hair right now. Well, that was agonizing. What are you purring for? Hmm? I came back to my shit pretty much. You're such a destructive little beast. Who's in here besides Susan? LSP, maybe? Thanks to the thumbs, man. Really? Attention whore. She's ridiculous. You good? Hmm? You good? You sniffing. Don't lick me, yuck. You're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. She's in heat. She gotta have attention. Are you cozy? Yeah. How about I just shove you all the way over? Because I don't really want you on my shoulder right now. Good times. Oh, yes, my gorgeous little pain in the ass. You know. Cheers. That was so agonizing getting through chapter 2. Oh my god. I even skipped like a couple paragraphs because I was like, what? I don't care about your opinion. Not on that crap. What shit I don't debate about. Doesn't pay. I got some eyelashes and I tried the glue ones. No, dude. What a fucking nightmare. So I'm going back to magnetics. Oh, no, 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 no. She doesn't. She hates pot smokes. I don't blow it anywhere near her. No, no, not her. I'm not one of those people that'll stick her edible in a box and blow smoke at it, get their edible ripped. That's rude. So rude, dude. What's up, Buttercup? I know you're gonna try to crawl on my shoulder again. Ah, you're so invasive. Makes me crazy. It's constant. I can't leave for 10 minutes without her. I'm like, dude, really? What are you doing? I don't know. It sucks, doesn't it? I put clothes on her so she can't freaking itch her skin off. She's been crazy. She's going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But we are in a very small area, like so. She gets zoomies. It's hilarious because she doesn't have much room to run. Are you stuck? That'll learn you. I have to make her another sweater though. That one's not good material. Really, dude? Well, I'm gonna fly. Gotta do my insulin. I'm way late. I was supposed to do it like hours and hours ago. So, on that note, say bye. Bye. See y'all later. Thanks for hanging out.